Ghostwriters. Who are they and what do they really write about? Who the heck uses a ghostwriter and why would somebody use a ghostwriter? Will they scare their readers away? I have so many questions going through my head about ghostwriters and who actually hires a ghostwriter. Like, do you have someone write your entire book for you? Or your manual? And I thought instead of just trying to answer these questions, via Google or YouTube, why not bring on an expert to talk about all the ins and outs of ghost writing? Hi, everyone. I'm Mary Fain Brandt, and this is 15 Minutes of Fame. You can find me here every Tuesday at 2 p.m. It's my new time. We moved from 12 to 2, and I think it's a much better time slot. If you like this time slot, give me a thumbs up or a heart or something. Send me a message and let me know. The weekly show here is 15 to 20 minutes, and I literally drop a quick tip on business development, your favorite apps and programs, or rather, my favorite apps and programs, and of course, everything LinkedIn related. Big shout out before we get the show started to the official sponsor of 15 Minutes of Fame, StreamYard. That's how I'm going live. It's so freaking easy. You hit the go live button at the end, you hit the big red button that says end broadcast. And as you saw, you can have like slides up, intro videos, outro videos, bring comments on. Let's check this out. Here we go. David's here. He says scared. You can bring comments on the screen, have up to 10 guests in the, what do they call it? The green room. I think that's what they call it, where people hang out before a show. It's just super easy to use. So after the show, you guys, I have an affiliate link for a few things. I'm going to just drop all of that in the comments. And so if you're interested in trying any of the tools that I use, you can just click on that link and find them. And if you sign up for StreamYard, guess what? I'll go ahead and jump on a 15-minute call with you and help you get set up, because that's how much I love StreamYard. Now, back to the ghost story. Ghostwriter. Today, I'm being joined by Anthony Garone, who is a local ghostwriter. And when I say local, I mean that he lives in my state now, Arizona. Anthony and I first met at Tisha Marie Peltier's Social Connect event, which is a great event. And if you're in Arizona, you should definitely check out my girls' event. It's a lot of fun. Now, why do you need a ghostwriter? And who hires a ghostwriter? How can a new viewpoint on your copy, right? How can that enhance the copy that you have? Now, I do want to say, Anthony says that the ghostwriter term, this is what he had. He says, we take your ideas and package them in a way that the market will find enjoyable. Now, I've got to learn more about this, because why I think I can write pretty well, sometimes I don't have the time, right? And sometimes I talk about the process and not the transformation. Well, let's get Anthony on stage. Anthony, there you are.
Hello. Wow, the green room's really nice. I had a good time back here.
I got you some M&Ms, some Dasani water.
Red ones only, very good.
It's so fancy, right? Oh my God, I just love it. Well, thank you so much for joining me. When we first met at the beginning of the year at that event, you and I we were standing over in that corner just chatting away.
Right.
I really enjoyed talking with you. And so I thought, writing and copy, this is such a, I gotta turn that off. Such a big part of owning a business. Writing is probably one of the most important skill sets, and yet it's probably overlooked, right? People think about their website and their coaching packages, but they don't think about everything that's involved with the writing. And I think that's where ghostwriters come in. But before we get to that, Anthony, tell everyone about your business, how you got started, all that good stuff.
Yeah, sure. So I started Edify Content with my business partner, Ellis Fitch. She's a marketing and copywriting expert. She's worked for Infusionsoft, and we met at InfoArmor when we got acquired by Allstate for $500 million, which was a pretty crazy thing to go through. She's an author and I'm an author. I have 2 of my 3 books here. This one is about winning the job search, like finding a job, and I've hired a lot of people, and so I have like a book of advice. And I had this other book about playing this. It took me 22 years to learn how to play one impossible piece of music. So I wrote a big book about that and the life transformation I went through. But essentially, I just like writing. And when Ellis and I were talking about what we were going to do next after Allstate, content marketing came up, and it was during the pandemic when sales teams realized, hey, we can't meet people face to face. I guess we have to count on what's on our website. And then they went to their websites and said, there is no way we're going to sell anything with what we've got.
I can believe that, because they probably wrote it from that 1, 2, 3 bullet point, right, mentality, not the transformational, not from the heart, very strategic and analytical, very dry, I would imagine.
Really dry. And Ellis and I have a term called featureitis. And we feel that a lot of people have featureitis when they go write on their website. It's kind of like, here's what we do. Here's service number 1 and service number 2 and service number 3. And, they don't talk about results. They don't talk about the problems they're solving for the customer. I mean, when you go searching for something like a service or a product, you're searching for a solution. You've got something, there's a gap in your life and you need it filled. You don't need it filled by innovation, business solutions. No one looks for those things. Those terms are meaningless. When you have
they
an
don't
actual
care.
problem,
They just want to know that you can solve the solution. They don't care about the journey to get there.
right?
Whether
Right.
you walk through 3 red doors, turn left, pick up a coffee mug, right? Or whether you have to do 5 coaching calls, or if you have to do 5 online applications. Nobody cares about the process. They care that you can solve their problems for them, right?
Yeah. I mean, when you bring your car in for an oil change, you just are
How
like, I need my oil change. Like, the result is I drive away with a car that has fresh oil. And the car companies, they know this, right? They don't say, come in for a 5W20 and a new oil filter and this, and they're like, come in for an oil change. Here's how much it costs. And that's a really, really simple idea. But like, my friend he's a guitar builder and a repairman. And we talked last night a lot about this, how people bring instruments to him, not to get them fixed, but for the experience they have after he's repaired their guitar. That's why they bring it in.
They sound good now, right? They don't have to worry about it.
They play well and they're enjoyable.
I love it. I love it. Okay. So Anthony, I've got some basic questions for you. Like,
Sure.
Who the heck hires a ghostwriter? Like, is it people that want to write a book? Is it business owners? Is it CEOs of company? Like, can you tell us a couple of your favorite clients that you've worked with?
Oh man. Well, we've worked with over 60 clients at this point, just in 2 years. So I think that goes to show, yes, people are looking for ghostwriting and copywriting. Anyone really can hire a ghostwriter. In the situations where we get hired, it's usually I'm writing for a CEO, or Ellis and I are writing on behalf of employees at the company, or we're just doing copywriting and general marketing. The thing is, like, for tech companies in particular, like SaaS companies, they want their developers to write blog posts, but developers don't have time to do that. They have 30, 40 minutes, sure, for a meeting, but they don't have 2, 3, 4 hours to write an article and slog through it and edit it and find screenshots and all this stuff. So they generally will come to us and say, hey, will you meet with the developer and just write an article for him or her? And I'll spend, because I have a technical background, I'll spend, 40 minutes with them, get the gist of what they're trying to say, and then I package it into something that people will want to click and read. We make recommendations on titles, and we write meta descriptions and header tags, and we play the SEO game. So ghostwriting is very handy for a lot of companies because they want their people to have stuff published on the web, especially leaders at companies. I mean, any business owner would love to have like thought leadership pieces on the net. Well, that's usually ghostwritten. And if it's not very good, it probably isn't ghostwritten, because founders are just trying to get their ideas out. They're not
busy being
writers.
The founder or the CEO. You can only wear so many hats, and there's only so many hours in the day. And I think one thing is that we all need to stay in our lanes that we're really good at. Utilize the skills that we're great at, and what we're not great at, hire out, outsource out. So David has, David, obviously. David Collins? You know
I
him?
don't think, well, maybe we've met. There's a violinist named David Cross and a comedian named David Cross, and I might have met this
Cross.
David Cross. I don't
Well,
even.
so he's been on a few of my shows. He had a question with designers that need copywritten edit. So, David, can you clarify what you mean? Designers that need copy rewritten and edit. Designers, what kind of designers? Are we talking web designers? I'm not clear on that question, David. If you could give us a little more clarity on that, then maybe Anthony can answer that for us. So you work with CEOs, entrepreneurs. I'm in.
A lot of
I'm.
marketing directors, believe it or not, they're like, hey, we've got to get, and it's not for them, it's for their teams. They're like, we need
Oh.
blog content. We need it with this person's name on it. So generally it's like we just get an article out, and I get either a recorded Zoom call that happened internally, or I will interview the person and get their language down and like actually capture. I type really fast, so when they're speaking I generally type everything that they've said, and then I can actually capture their real language and sometimes
Mm.
pretty it up or make it easier to understand. But I capture a lot of their voice in these calls, and then when I write the article I make sure that the things that they say are actually included.
Yeah, because it's important, right? I think one of the questions for the stigmas is I can't have anyone else write. It won't sound like me. So I'm very casual, conversational. I use fun words. So if someone were to come in and write very analytical and linear, like it wouldn't sound like I wrote it. So
Exactly.
can you tell when someone else has written the copy? Or are you that good, right, that it sounds like whoever hires you?
Well, I think less about the tone and the quality and more about, okay, it doesn't seem realistic that this person is doing all of these things. There's no way this CEO has his hands on the keyboard and is developing the application and is doing all this, presenting at conferences and is writing these articles every week. Like these things that it's just not realistic. There's only so many hours in the day. And so chances are, if you see leaders writing for things like Forbes or other publications, either a ghostwriter has been involved in a small way, whether it's through editing or just helping, or the ghostwriter might have completely written it. There are definitely articles that are completely written by executives, and there's plenty of them. But I can tell you, I get hired by companies where the executives write
Okay.
because someone in marketing's like, look, I love that you love to write, but we need this to be good and we need people to want to click it, and they don't need 3,000 words, they need 1,200.
Gotcha. Clear and concise versus character count or word count.
Yeah.
So being that I'm a small business owner, entrepreneur, love supporting my small business owners. So, and I know a lot of people that do courses and landing pages and that kind of stuff. Is that something that you help the small business owner with, like really getting the right copy on the pages so it does convert?
Yeah, for sure. Ellis is really the marketing brains behind our operation. When we have technical people who want stuff written, I'm generally brought in, but for nearly everything else, Ellis is brought in. And she and I work together a lot because I still, I'm a technical person, and sometimes what I write is legitimately boring. And she, makes it better. And then
It makes it
sometimes
pop.
she has to write stuff for really technical landing pages, and I have to tell her, hey, this isn't correct. This actually
That's
isn't how the app
good.
works.
So
So
you have this business partner, you guys working together, bring both sides of copywriting together. I love that.
we're probably the only agency that does copy and marketing that was founded by a developer and a marketer.
Okay. So David said, his designer question, it was graphic designers, catalogs, ads, social media posts for clients that I'm developing layouts. That was his question. And then he said, Anthony has addressed, I think. So David, he does work, his company does work with, entrepreneurs, small business owners, getting that copy for ads, landing pages, social media posts, etc. So I think that you answered David's question, but David, if
Well,
you
one
want
other
to,
popular question that does come up is, do you guys design stuff for us? And we generally say, like they'll ask for an ebook or they'll ask for a
oh,
PDF, lead magnet kind of document. And so we'll write it, and then I do work with designers, and we'll subcontract that work out, or I'll work directly with the designers who work at the company, and we collaborate on the documents that we're writing.
Okay. So typically the reasons that someone would hire a ghostwriter: don't have enough time, they're not a good writer, they overwrite. Probably, we tend to think more is better. Like, oh, I need to have a 500 word or, a 2,000 word article. So you help people really get their ideas clear and concise,
Yes.
come across clear and concise.
Right. And make
Mhm.
it so it's enjoyable and hits the SEO targets that they have. They often have keywords they're trying to target, or they have a channel they want to reach, like the front page of Hacker News or Reddit or something like this.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Well, we are at our 15 minutes, and I try to keep this brief, short, clear and concise. So hiring a ghostwriter can really help you then level up your content, which can create more leads or opportunities. I like to say opportunities. I don't think everything's about sales. My whole thing is connect, cultivate, convert to opportunities, which could mean writing for a bigger publication, getting on radio, TV, live shows, podcasts, and of course, bringing in leads if you're a business owner. But I really think we need to think about opportunities and not just sales, because if we don't think about all the opportunities, then we're missing out. So who knows? I might be talking to you in the future. I've got some things coming up in 2023, and I might need like a set of eyes, like, here's what I've got written down, but how can I word it better? Or what I feel is the SEO component. Like, there's a lot of people that are good writers, but I don't think that we're thinking about SEO all the time.
That's correct. Yeah, and the tools we use are hundreds of dollars per month just to have access to, and then you got to learn how to use them. So it's a pretty sophisticated universe of stuff. So yeah,
I'm not going to learn how to use it. I'm not going to buy it. That doesn't make sense for someone like me, right? So it would make sense if I was working on something very important, right? Then to hire a ghostwriter, copywriter to go ahead and go over that, and not only make sure that it's clear and concise, but to make sure I have that SEO component built in. Because I think that we forget about that. We only think website.
Oh yeah, people definitely do.
Yeah. Thank you, Natasha, for joining us. Nice to see you here today. And David and Shelly. It looks like we did go live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I got some error messages earlier, but hey, it all worked out. David said, thank you, Mary and Anthony. Natasha says, great listen. Awesome. So Anthony, you guys, after the show, I'm going to go in and I'll answer any questions you have, although I'm not the expert on this one. I just provide experts to you guys so you can level up your businesses and your careers. But I will go in and share the links. I have affiliate links like to StreamYard and a few other tools that I love using, and a consultation, like booking link, and my LinkedIn success checklist. So I'm going to drop all that in after. Now, Anthony, where can people learn more about you? How do people contact you? Where do you want them to connect with you?
Yeah, sure. So our business URL is edifycontent.com. That's EDIFY content.com. And then if you want to reach me, you can just go to anthonygarone.com. My name is right there.
That was good, dude. That's good, because I never can do that. I'm always like,
well, I did that too, but yeah, right here, anthonygarone.com. That's my personal website. And I'm one of the easiest people to find, on social media, and easily to reach, so reach out. I'd love to talk to you.
Yeah. So you guys, if you're watching the replay, go ahead and type in #replay so I know, and go ahead and ask questions. Anthony and I will go back to this live show and answer any of the questions that you might have. We'll drop in all of our links so you can connect with us, because we're here to support you and your growth in your business or your role at your company. So Anthony, thank you so much for your time today. And I look forward to seeing you at one of these, at an upcoming networking event locally, because there's a few coming up in December, and I have one that I think you might be interested in. So stay right there, and let me go ahead. And I guess that's it. That's all we got, you guys. So
well,
take
one
care.
Quick thing.
Yeah.
Thank you. And in the comments, if you watch through the end of the video, look in the comments. I will leave some remarks on what people look for when they're trying to find a ghostwriter. So,
oh, that is good. Thank you so much. Well, you guys, I'll see you next Tuesday at 2 p.m. In the meantime, make sure that you ring my bell on LinkedIn to get notified of all my content when I'm posting, because I'm dropping free tips every week. And for my career professionals, every Monday, the B Show, where we drink coffee and talk about career tips and trends. We go live every Monday at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, right here on LinkedIn, my favorite platform. So take care, and I'll see you later online. Ciao.